Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Stellaris, although more specifically the Star Trek New Horizons mod for Stellaris. Now, first of all, Stellaris, I need to address this. This is not a game that I'm particularly good at. I have played it. I've got many hours in it, and there are a lot of DLC for it, as is, Paradox Interactive. But it's one of the more complex real-time 4X games I've ever played. And I am not going to pretend to sit here and, know everything. So just be wary that I am more of a beginner/intermediate Stellaris player. And the reason I'm playing this now, when there's other options available that are easier to get into, like I said, there's that Star Trek New Horizon mod, and that sort of encourages me to play it because it's Star Trek, and Star Trek is one of my favorite things. So, what is this mod? What does it do? This Star Trek New Horizons mod, if you subscribe to it on the Steam Workshop, and then you can also subscribe to the music and all the different interfaces, that's what I did. And so as long as you do that, you'll be able to play this. Just all you need is the core game. I don't believe you need any of the expansions. I don't have all of them, and I'm able to run this just fine. And the whole premise of Stellaris is, it's like any other 4X, but it's real time. And you're going to choose a civilization, and you're going to take over different, systems and try and generate resources and perform trade and diplomacy with other factions and stuff like that. Now, in the Star Trek New Horizons mod, there's an option in here to pretty much play the entire, all of the quadrants. There's alpha, beta, delta, gamma quadrants. The Borg are in, the delta quadrant. You've got your Dominion in the gamma quadrant. You've got, the Federation. And so you've got all... There's, hundreds of races you could enable if you want to. You can play the entire Star Trek world, if the universe, if you want to. It's massive. I will warn you though that if you don't have a computer that can handle it, it's gonna skip here and there, and it still does for me. Even on lower settings, it does. So I jumped right in with the Borg Collective, and they play a lot differently than some of the other Stellaris races that I've played. They are one of those train wrecks where they're slow to start, but once they get going, man, they just they are so good, and they were relentless. And you get bonuses for assimilation, so you are encouraged pretty much to go out there and assimilate everything. Now there are guest appearances, you'll see Q on occasion. The Q head looks a little weird, but I'm sure that's just part of the I'm not gonna complain at all. This developer has done a great job. But so you're gonna get quests and guest appearances. For example, in my Borg playthrough, Unimatrix Zero popped up, and if you've watched Voyager, then you'll know that that's a rogue Borg faction that tried to rise and defeat the Borg. And they were not really successful at it. But still, that's in this game. And they take over a couple of your systems as a rogue faction, and you have to try and take them back over. And they're tough. The research tree is pretty massive. It's more here's 4 or 5 different things that you could pick from, and then you pick it, and that's it. Now, some of these things may be this is a new part for your ship, an upgrade, a better phaser bank or a better disruptor, better plasma weapon. I let the computer build my ships because I'm afraid to touch them at this point. I again, as a beginner/intermediate, I don't know what I'm doing. But like I said, you're encouraged. You meet a new race typically. The game will tell you, you've met an unidentified race. What do you want to do? And it gives you the choice. Do you want to assimilate it? Yes, no. So you have to assign an envoy to that mission, to your first contact mission, And if you're successful, you assimilate part of their species, like the member, like one or two members of their species, and you get a huge bonus for it. It's amazing. The music, the developer, I believe, took a lot of this from like YouTube. Like there's some tracks on here that I recognize that are like people on YouTube like make their own Star Trek music. That's what is on here for the most part. Along with some other official tracks, I believe, but it's still really good. So if you're going to stream this, be wary of that. There's a lot of like official slash user made stuff. There's also a council, and you'll be able to, from time to time, research, or not research, but like activate these initiatives, I think they're called, or something similar to that. You can even set like policies and edicts, and at the cost of like Unity, keep them running to sort of tweak your empire a little bit. You can even, watch your ships do their thing. And granted, this part of it is hard to see, but it is cool to see when you zoom in on it. Like when you zoom, it's satisfying to watch the Borg spheres and the diamonds, and eventually you get the cubes, like the regular Borg cubes, the tactical cubes. There's even an Omega cube. You actually can build Omega vessels, and I couldn't figure out how to do that. It's a starbase upgrade. It's whenever you take control of a system, you can construct a shipyard there, and your it's complicated, but there's an advanced shipyard that you can construct aside from your regular shipyard, and that advanced shipyard is where you can build your Omega stuff. So just so in case you're trying to find it, because it took me forever to try and find it. I have this technology. How do I build these ships now? No, I had to build an advanced shipyard, which was separate from my regular shipyards. That's how I did it. But ultimately, my playtime was spent sending Borg cubes to just declaring war. First off, I declared war on a system, and I sent ships over there, and I just left my Borg cubes in orbit, and they would automatically just start harvesting things from the planet's surface, like people, like just the population, and I kept getting notifications along the top of my screen. This member has been assimilated. This has been assimilated. This population has been added to your collective. It's being transferred to your Unimatrix 01, whatever, stuff like that. So it's just a constant stream of notifications telling you that you're assimilating all of these people, and then typically either the war is over. Like, that's one thing I don't like about Stellaris. In this game, like, there's exhaustion, and the war automatically ends whether you want it to or not after a while. So and then you cannot declare war again for a while. So, like, if you don't beat them all the first time around, like, if you don't capture every single planet the first time around, you have to wait a while before you can finish them off. It's one thing I don't like about the whole Stellaris war system. But anyway. So yeah, there's a market where you can trade resources. There's other common things that you would typically find in Stellaris. And like I said, various storylines, like the super drone from Voyager, where Seven befriended that super drone that beamed the Borg, but he ultimately sacrificed himself for the ship. Spoilers. On a show that's, 10 years old now? But anyway, yeah, like, this is so much fun. Like, it's one of those games, like, I'm systematically, like I said, I've pretty much taken out the Delta Quadrant, because, like, the Kazon, they needed to be assimilated anyway. The Kazon, with Seska and all them, and then, just the Kobali and all of the Delta Quadrant races. I got rid of most of them. There were a few I didn't recognize, but I actually had to look them up on the wiki, and they were, like, in episodes of Voyager. So that was really cool. Like, oh, that's who these people are. And that's where they're situated. But yeah, and then I'm working my way over. I conquered like 95% of the Dominion in the Gamma Quadrant, and they're huge. So like, I pretty much captured almost all of the Gamma Quadrant. And now, like, I'm working my way south on the galactic map toward like the Federation, the Klingons, the Romulans. It'll be interesting to see how that all plays out, assuming I'm able to finish this playthrough. Like I said, I'm fairly busy, and if I am able to spend my time on one game regularly, it's very rare. But I have a feeling like I'm gonna get halfway across the galaxy, and then I'll just forget. Not forget, but like I'll get to this later because I'm too busy. That's unfortunately how this typically plays out. But like I said, there are like shorter game modes that you can play if you want to, that, won't take days to complete. And what's cool about Stellaris is, in general, it has so many different mods and remakes and stuff like that on the Steam Workshop. There's a Warhammer one that one of my acquaintances on Discord regularly plays. There's a Star Wars one, which I think I tried at one point, but it was very rough around the edges. But I like it. I mean, this one is solid. It's put together very well, and I'm so happy that this exists. I really do. Once I get Star Trek Armada 3 working again for Sins of a Solar Empire, I'll probably go play that. But yeah, I'm just enjoying my ride right now, just steamrolling everything as the Borg. It's just fun. I mean, I typically play a goody two shoes in a game like this, trying to make friends with everyone. I always get screwed over due to bad AI diplomacy. But here, I don't have to worry about that. I can wreck everything and just have fun with it. The hard part is with the Borg is that, the larger your territory, the more systems you have to hold and the more people you're pissing off. So I typically have to leave a defensive line in place in the area before I attack somewhere, because usually the challenge is I had 15 different factions team up because I was getting too strong. So I was fighting 15 different factions at once. It was crazy. But anyway, Star Trek New Horizons mod, go check this out. Stellaris is $40 on its own. Wait for a sale. It's 75% off right now. So if it's that way now, then it will be again in the future in case you missed this video and you missed the sale. Well, anyway, this is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.